Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Happy Monday, April 27th. Before we hop on these charts on this beautiful day, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you always do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even if funded prop firm accounts. And the affiliate partnership disclaimer. This is how I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, right? Code RDF and all the fun partners and affiliate stuff that you see in my content. Chat, what's up, guys? We're getting ready to open up here. We are taking a look at YM. Choppy as all heck this morning. Choppy as all heck. Had the classic move on NQ and ES. The gap down and then quick gap fill. I see everybody and their mother is still running the same play until it doesn't work anymore. Third week in a row that we've opened up gap down and went to go fill that gap. I don't know that we filled it completely in pre-market on a couple of the other days, but it seems like a play that's too easy that just keeps on paying, man. Just keeps on paying. Anyway, I will hop into some analysis. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Afters, good morning, America. What's up, Ivan, Dwayne, Muhammad, Vincent, Purple Ninja, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. It's Monday, it's early. I know everybody's still waking up. Sloth, what's up on Kick? What's going on, guys? Start to get some analysis in. We'll get some higher time frame analysis in. We'll get some moderate time frame analysis in. Overall, in general, guys, this is really simple stuff here on YM. I'm looking for the same simple mean reversion style play. I'm going to fade the extremes of the range that we're in here. These two higher time frame zones are going to act as rough areas of interest for me today. Coming up here towards the high 500s, I'll be looking to fade that back down. We certainly could pop, wick me out, and then come back down, but I'll be looking to fade this move to the upside in here. Off the lows, which I wish we were headed down instead of heading right up. Off of the lows, I would have loved another long. Would have loved another long opportunity. But I'm going to look for this to continue. Is today the day we break and run and then go towards all-time highs on YM? Maybe. Maybe. But we're going to keep running the same play. Looking in a large sample size and, collecting payouts. Nice W to end off the week last week in a Lucid account. We're in another Lucid account here today. In profit. Ready to make some money and then ready to take a payout. Just taking a look at NQ, what we got off of the open on NQ here. Got YM's book map loaded up on the left-hand side. We could cycle through some of these. Take a look at ES. I'd like that mean reversion play on YM off the open, man. I really would. I really would. I would prefer it to have been the long, but it looks like it's going to give me the potential short. Just taking a look around at all of these. Yeah, we're blasting higher. Blasting higher for now. Let's just see what this would start to look like up here. Not doing anything just yet, guys, but we are moving in one direction really aggressively, so we may be doing something pretty soon. Maybe doing something pretty soon here. Just taking a look at what this would start to look like with a 200-point-ish stop loss. Can use a position tool because it scrunches up my already small chart too much. Not bad. Not bad. Not too bad. Let's see. Let's see what the market's got for us here, right? We got volume points and controls in here. 3 of them, right? We got a high volume node in here. I wouldn't mind that for a fade. Wouldn't mind that to catch a fade. Give YM a little chopski. Wouldn't mind that for my mean, let me not joke around. Wouldn't mind that for my mean reversion style, reversal style trade that I look for off of the open on YM. Back down towards VWAP, back down towards current volume point of control, yesterday's volume point of control, high volume node, temporary volume point of control. If I zoom out, I think it might shift up here actually. Let's see. No, stays down here. Temporary volume point of control really for this entire range. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind something like that. So that's going to be my first trade idea on YM. We might get this quick. We are moving in one direction. We'd have to come through this low volume area, and I don't know that we do that. I'm not going to take this, but because it just doesn't present me with a good enough risk structure, we might not move through this. Here we are. We are going to. At least we're making the case to right now. Chat. We got some movement, chat. We might get this Monday started off right. I usually don't like to do anything too crazy on Monday morning. I never like to do anything too crazy, but I especially don't like to do anything too crazy on Monday morning, start the week off, you know, just jumping into something wild. But we might have something here. I'm looking, you know, I'm looking roughly at this, right? If I wanted to be short here, I would use a limit order. I'm looking roughly at this. We could just dip our toes here, right? Like right outside of this area of volume. We could, I'm way zoomed out on the 15-minute because I do want to look at this whole area. We could just dip our toes right up here, crack pre-market high, come into value area high from Friday, not get towards Friday's high and come right back down. There's definitely a potential for that, right? For us to just do this. But I'm going to wait patiently. And I will forgo this potential movement because it doesn't give me a good risk structure. At least just what I'm comfortable with. So up a little bit higher. High 500s, 100 points higher really is what I want. Let's see if we come right back down on it. It's the mean reversion play, right? It's the good read of the market. Just not my area of interest getting hit and, you know, ability to execute. So I'm framing this out, though. Framing this out. But yeah, I like it right in here. High 500s, low 600s, 49,580s to like 630, 640s. I like this in here. We got some business to do up here. Talking about macro real quick. No news today. Overall, no scheduled financial news events, no data releases today. We have a pretty light start to this week by way of scheduled data releases. Wednesday, we have federal funds rate, FOMC, 2 p.m. and then 2:30 p.m. conference. That's a big one. Thursday, we have some red folder, GDP, PCE price index, and then nothing. Pretty much nothing. Outside of that, obviously, we continue to have developments in the conflict in the Middle East. Massive headline market that we're trading. I am using News Squawk for my provider of news and information. So, ooh, they got I was looking at their website this morning. They updated some of their website. Watching us reject a little bit up here. I'm trying to get logged back into something here. Why? Why is this doing this to me? Come on. Yeah, here, this might be the rejection, right? This might be the mean reversion play. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get logged back into something. Okay. I gotta shoot a quick email. I don't like to be doing this as the market's opened up. What the heck, man? Yeah, this could be the rejection up here, guys. Could be the rejection up here again. Was waiting for high 500s, low 600s. This looks like it's going to be the nice, beautiful rejection off of this zone. Not going to give me a way to structure risk. Like I said, going to forgo this first movement. This is the movement that I trade for off of the open. We didn't do it just yet. We didn't go all the way back through VWAP, back through current volume point of control, but we're definitely getting some sellers in here. Definitely getting some sellers in here. Let us see. Let us see. Let's see, Chatty McChat. Got to send this email to try to fix what I am doing here. Sorry, guys. Just 1 second here. Oh, man. All right. Bang. Okay. Chat. Okay, we're not invalidated yet. We're not invalidated yet. I can feel it, man. It's gonna be another good week. I'm on a heater. If you guys are new here, welcome to the show. Happy to have you on. I'm realizing through analysis of data, I got a bunch of new peeps on here all the time. Welcome to the show, man. I trade live here 9:15 every damn day. YouTube, Kick, and X, 100% free. No course, no VIP, no mentorship. Been trading for quite a while. I think I've got a little bit of heat, right? Maybe you've seen me on a lot of other live streams, a lot of the major ones in the space, right? Maybe you see me on podcasts. Maybe you see me on in-person events. Maybe you see me trade well here on my own live streams. Maybe you've seen me get moved into live accounts and stay there for 6 months and dozens of payouts. I don't know. Maybe you've watched me put up heaters and take payouts. Whatever you do, grain of salt everything you see everywhere, except for right here, right? Except for live trading. This is the only thing, I see more people talk about this, the only thing that's worth a damn. Live trading. Click the buttons on the screen, show us what your trading looks like, talk about it. You can't fake this, right? You can easily tell, you know, what the person's approach to the market is, how it works, especially if you watch it over a long period of time, and decide whether or not you want to take, you know, information for them. Or God forbid, pay for something that they charge for. Holy heck. I am partnered and affiliated with a bunch of firms, companies, all stuff that I use, know, trust. You want to get the best deals everywhere, code RDF is going to get it done. Links down below this video, link pinned to the top of the site, gives you all of my links, prop firms that I trade with, all that fun stuff, man. Today, we're going to see if we can't keep the payout train rolling. I've had some really nice results with the aggressive sim trading I've been doing this year. I have pretty good results in live accounts and prop firm live accounts this year as well, across the board. I really can't complain. There will be a downturn at some point. I certainly came off an absolute banger of a win streak 2 weeks ago where I took some back-to-back losses on NQ. Part of it, we bounced back really quick and have continued to take multiple payouts from prop firms every single week. Pretty solid to be able to say that. For as many weeks as I can remember now at this point, multiple payouts. Will that last forever? Absolutely not, right? I'll have down weeks, I'll have down days, I'll have down months, as is part of real trading. Don't claim to be the best. I don't claim to have it all figured out. I don't claim anything. None of that stuff. But I'd like to continue to aggressively trade the prop accounts that I am trading, including Top 1 Futures, Lucid, Take Profit Trader, Alpha Futures, and Top Step, and continue to rip payouts alongside of trading live accounts, both in the futures market, options market, and managing long-term investment portfolios. That's my big spiel here, right? But what I do here with you guys live is prop firm trading. Traditionally, I'm in funded accounts that are doing well. I'm loading these up, and I'm taking on, you know, fuller risk trades on the 15-minute. The other side of what I do on prop trading is just scalping for, you know, $150, $200 days, right? Most of the accounts I trade have minimum trading days. Some of the evals have minimum trading days. And then on evals, really just stupid aggressive. I'm either passing or failing them in the minimum amount of time. I'm passing them in 2 days or 5 days if it's a 5-day eval, or I'm failing them on day 1 or day 2. There's really no in between. I'm confident in my abilities to get that done, and I am accepting of the risk of ruin that I will blow many accounts doing that in evals. Before I've done this, I've taken it extremely slow. I've traded evals and funded accounts incredibly slow if you don't know my history, right? Came over too fast and then slowed it down. Traded them very, very slowly towards getting funded and proving consistency, right? And then taking payouts before you lose the accounts, and then taking multiple payouts in the same accounts, and then staying in live accounts for long periods of time, taking multiple payouts, right? And, you know, now continuing that, as well as leveraging some aggression in the prop firm game. I was thinking about this a lot over the weekend, and I'll finish this rant, and we'll talk about the market. We'll talk about, you know, talk about the chat. I'm going to write something up. Maybe I'll just make it a Twitter post. I'll probably do that. There's a conundrum that we are faced with prop firms, and it's an interesting dilemma. I'm going to write about it. The expectation of what we're supposed to do by way of rules and what we need to do to get a payout, and then also the expectation as far as what good trading, sustainable trading is. And there's some contradiction for sure on the prop firm side, on the trader side, and it's something I want to talk about. It's something I want to talk more about. I'm going to probably do a little write-up on that. I think that'll be my game plan. Maybe I make it a YouTube video, but I think I'm gonna write this one. I think I can articulate it best in writing. But I'm gonna talk more about that. Markets first, and then chat. Rejection so far, man. We got the mean reversion here. This is it. This is it, right? 125 points off the highs. You know, here's the mean reversion move that I look for day in and day out for NYSE morning. We just didn't hit my area of interest. Just didn't hit my area of interest, right? Sometimes we top and bottom ticket like we did in here, right? Like we did in here. Sometimes. But not always. Not always. Oh no, I'm sorry. We almost bottom ticked it and top ticked it here on Friday. Shorts paid beautifully on Thursday. Longs paid right in here for NYSE on Friday. Shorts would have paid today, just continuing this chop, but we kept it tight today. We kept it tight today. We opened up, cracked Friday's low, pulled up, didn't crack Friday's high. We just wanted to dip our toe outside of this area of high volume. We did not, in fact, want to come up to this area that I was watching, right? I said high 500s, right? High 500s to low 600s. I was looking at this for my potential entry for a short. I like that my read of the market was correct. I like that my zone was close. I like that we got the mean reversion trade playing out. I don't like that I wasn't able to execute on it, right? That's okay, right? My movement is not going to occur every single second that I open the charts up. I have a perfect entry set up, and then it immediately moves in my direction, right? It would be completely unreasonable to think that. A lot of traders think that. I thought that for a long period of time, and I lost money for a long period of time. Difficult part here is now this mean reversion played out. This is the market movement that I attempt to exploit, right? And at least the entry area that I attempt to exploit, excuse me. Now it makes for some difficult decision making here. As I'm watching volatility come into the market, some serious selling pressure. I don't like the longs as much if we come through the lows, right? Because we will have wicked higher. Ran stops, picked up liquidity, completely rejected, come through VWAP, and now I'm longing for a mean reversion. I don't like that as much, guys. I gotta say that. I really don't like that as much. Would still consider it, but I'd have to look at what the market looks like as we're coming lower and get a feel for what price action looks like. Yeah, this one really wasn't close for me. It's the mean reversion play. It's near, but it's not it. We're 100 points off the area that I wanted to enter. Not really even a near miss for me. If you got aggressive in here, congratulations, very nice. You know, this isn't a bad spot, right? You know, I was looking up here, right? All of these highs, all of this price action, highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows. you got another line in here, right? You got another line in here where we rejected from, right? Highs, lows, a lot of consolidation, highs, lows. Just kind of in between some, you know, some volume points of control. So not really it for me, but beautiful movement out of that. Really beautiful movement out of that. Now we come to the lows. Is that what we're going to do here? Let's take a look. Let's take a look-see. Yeah, I still like it long off the lows. I'm still gonna go for that. I don't like it nearly as much. It's definitely not as clean, but I definitely like it off the lows. Would start to get interested into the low 200s. The low 200s, right? I think this presents a really interesting area to get involved with the market. If we start to break through this, right, and hold this beautiful trend line that we're forming to the downside, and we're hammering into this support level, right? At least this line right here, and then we got another line in the sand by all of this crazy movement to the downside. We start to break through this, you know, this line in the sand here. I think we're quickly going to move down here, or keep doing what we're doing and just stay right in here. So for me, it would be the long play. I'm not a continuation style setup guy on YM. For reasons you could see from this type of price action right here, what seems to pay best on YM. So I'm going to say below prior day low, below pre-market low, low 200s to start to get interested in the longs. I definitely like the higher time frame level that I have marked on this chart, which would be lower in this crazy wiki price action down here. But let's see. Let's see what we get, chat. Good morning. That's one big ass candle. Good morning, folks. Stan the Trader, what's up? What's going on? Jake, good morning. AJ Boulder, good morning. Gus, good morning. My Cuisine 30 MD 30, good morning. Doing well, man. I'm here with you guys, trading live on YouTube. I'm above ground. We got funded accounts and live accounts and prop accounts to trade. Life is good, man. Life is really good. I think I could be way farther along on a yacht in Croatia with 10 houses and 10 cars, but you know, I'm doing all right, guys. I'm doing all right. I try to remember that it's a miracle that we're here in the first place, and I'm thankful for every day. I was talking about that with my wife over the weekend. Googled that stat. Maritime Trades, what's up? Trevor Smith, what's the play then? Since the reversion was missed, first off, reversion not missed, right? I'd like to talk about that, but the mean reversion played out without a missed trade. I think it's really important to classify what is a missed trade, what is not a missed trade, right? The initial mean reversion popped to the upside and then coming back down played out lower than the area that I was interested in. I just mapped out what I am still interested in. Longs off of those lows. As we come back above this high, there's still potential for this mean reversion style short. The more that we chop or hammer into one area and then start to break, the less that I will like a reversion style trade, right? The more price actions and market structure we have moving in one area. But for me so far, man, we're going to come right back through this high. Yeah, both of these are still in play. We really didn't get to the area of my interest, right? I don't like it as much now that we're getting this price action and structure. So the plan as of now is still have areas of interest on the chart. They are now, in my humble biased opinion, lower probability, less likely to play out in the way that I would like to see based on the structure that we have. More of a wait and see. You know, watch what happens as we, you know, potentially go and crack the highs. Apply the discretion that gets built from thousands of hours on the chart here. But yeah, just not great for price action market structure for me off of the open. Hopefully that helps. Plan as of now, wait and see. Wait and see. Still interested into the low 600s above Friday's high. Not as interested. Maybe half risk. Not as interested. Still interested on the lows. The more that we chop and then move in one direction, the less that I'm going to like it. But wait and see. That's my game plan. Enjoyed the podcast with Lawrence this weekend. Tried to figure out the formula that you guys were talking about for risk of ruin. Yeah, we could talk about that in general. If you guys missed it, I had a podcast with Lawrence the Investor. Lawrence, a.k.a. Lawrence the Investor, who's an absolute gem when it comes to mindset and psychology and risk management. He's a badass trader. Badass trader, man. He just doesn't, like, put a ton of content out the way that, like, some of us... I shouldn't say that. I don't know that he trades live every day or something like that. He puts a ton of content out. He shares a ton of his journey, and then he works with people on the psychology and mindset side. But badass trader, and somebody that is very... There's a great way of articulating things in the trading psychology spot, which I think, you know, is an interesting combination. You can have really good trading psychology, you can be a really good trader, but you might not be able to describe that to other people in a way that's helpful to them, and he can do that, which is cool. So if you missed that, it's up on YouTube. It's on the channel Real Deal Futures, if you want to check that out. Hey man, your psychology talks have definitely helped me tremendously. I'm literally $300 away from taking a payout simply due to the mental shift. Thanks for real. Alan! Love it, man. Love it. Change my bias on NQ. At the moment, short, waiting for 1 hour count to close. Nice. W podcast, bring them back again, for sure. Yeah, I might do more of those. I'm going to see how, you know, what the reaction from you guys and everybody else is. Might do more of those. But yeah, to what Alan said, man. This is a mindset game, okay? There's the math behind trading. There's the technical and fundamental analysis that's going to present an edge. That, to me, and I repeat this a lot, that's the easy part. It's still incredibly hard, but not as hard as the trading psychology. Not as hard as the psychology around financial risk management, right? It goes against everything that's, you know, natural in our human psyche, right? It challenges us in ways that very few things in life that I've found have challenged me. So, I know it's annoying sometimes to hear that, but that's the truth. That's what separates the guys that are putting up huge days from everybody else. Huge prop firm payouts, you know, all of that stuff. That and experience and capital, right? I'm also, I like to include capital now a lot more when I talk about it. So, you know, those are, but that's the sauce. You know, we know that. It's hard to wrap our head around. It's abstract. It's not a clear-cut if-then, you know, statement. But it's extremely important. So I'm glad to hear that. You've shifted your trading completely just based on psychology, man. It's absolutely awesome. So, you know, part of my trading psychology today, right, how I'm using it, let me try to be, you know, concise and talk about how is that affecting my trading today, right? In a past life with bad trading psychology and bad mindset, right, what am I doing here? Oh, you know what? We got really close. FOMO in. Okay, maybe I catch it, maybe I don't. Oh, you know what? We came all the way back down, and down here, I'm like, oh, you know what? I missed the trade up here. I need to take a trade. FOMO, short. Right? Stopped out. Okay, oh, what are we doing? We're coming, you know. So patience. Today is patience, which is most of the days. Waiting for my setup to come to me patiently, waiting for the market to come to me rather than chasing the market. You know, accepting that it's a no news Monday. I've had a nice week last week. I'm coming off of multiple payouts. Maybe there's no beautiful movement. Maybe we just chop around VWAP and not really do anything. And that's fine. Totally fine. My job is not to make money every single day. I know that's a hard thing to understand and to hear. Your job is not to make money every day. It's not to find a setup every day. It's not to put a trade on every day or 100 trades on or to make or lose a certain amount. None of that is your job. If that is a metric that you're tracking or you're going off of, you're bound for failure on that. Your job is to wait patiently, to read the market to the best of your abilities, and then put your trades on without any reservation or hesitation when they present themselves. Continue to create those if-then statements. You know, what is the game plan? Like somebody asked, now that this has happened. Now what's the game plan now that this has happened, right? As every minute passes. And wait patiently for your setup to come. Put it on and then manage the trade. to the best of your abilities, whatever that means to you, right? That's your job. Anything you do in between all of that, you're executing poorly. You know, maybe that means scalping for 100 trades a day almost every day because your setup presents itself and you wait patiently and it presents itself every 30 seconds. Cool. Maybe that means, you know, one trade a month and you're a super duper long-term investor, you know? But try to identify, you know, what your job is in the market. Understand that, know what your setup looks like, right? You know where you're going to allow discretion, allow subjective interpretation, where you're going to allow flexibility within your execution and trade management, and where you are not. Base that on your data, review, improve, and now we're, you know, and now we're driving Lambos and we're on yachts. No, I'm just kidding. Appreciate you guys hopping on as always. Sorry, that was a lot of ranting, but it's Monday, right? I haven't yapped to you guys in a while. Just facts on Kick, for sure. Facts. Yeah, man, we're looking good. Looking good on this choppy open. Choppy open so far. I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see where we hit from here. Curious to see what this market's got for us. Let's see, guys. Let's see. Questions, concerns, comments, trading stuff you want to yap about, feel free to let me know. We'll talk. So far, choppy open. No news Monday. Again, from a thinking about the macro environment, I think we still have a ton of headline risk based on the conflict in the Middle East, the geopolitical conflict that we continue to, see, the reactivity, for lack of a better term, out of price based on anything that Trump says or posts. I think we have a ton of the opportunity for that. As far as scheduled news release, the general cycle, the week that we're coming into here, we have no news today. We have FOMC on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Traditionally, and it's not a traditional market, but traditionally, we could see some choppy movement in anticipation, right, of what that Fed rate is going to be, and then what the conference is going to be, right? I think there's opportunity for that. And you can use some of that, right? Some of that subjective interpretation of the fundamentals, or at least when we have scheduled news events and when we don't, to apply to your trading. So I'm not really expecting huge movement out of YM or any of these, unless we get a big headline at some point, which is we've had big headlines almost every day. So that is, it's on the table. But I could see that kind of cooling, at least for now, if we don't have any big deadline in place or any crazy shift of what's going on. Maybe just some crazy volatility as, headlines print, but staying within this choppiness that we're seeing right now. And, more movement on Wednesday. I think we could definitely see that. Yeah, this is interesting out of NQ. Nasty wick down, below VWAP, holding below VWAP. None of these really correlated too strongly. ES back above VWAP. We did wick down on that 945 candle, but we're pressing the highs here, so these are really not moving in tandem, which is not terribly abnormal either. And YM kind of sitting closer to ES, but overall the choppiest out of all of them. Looking at what we got here. Choppy. Sitting dead set at, is this 9? Oh, that's 9. Close to the 50% mark for our range that we've set here so far. Not a lot of movement in general. Here's our low. Let's be exact. What's our range so far? Not nothing, but not a lot. 237 point range on the day so far. I think we got plenty of room to move on this if we want to. We got plenty of room to chop. 230 some odd points for NYSE session, under 300 for the day. It's pretty tight so far. Sorry guys, just checking a couple of messages here. Looking at a couple of alerts that are coming in. I don't know why this is lagging out so bad, but it's weird. Whatever. Come back to that later. Chat! What's up, guys? Yeah, we talked about the podcast. Yeah, talked about the podcast with Lawrence. Awesome. I have a Oh, yeah, I have a thought. You missed the T there, but that's okay. Trevor says, I have a thought, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think that any strategy works as long as you have good risk management and psychology. So, I wouldn't agree completely with that. I'll like for the most part, yes, but like I'll go further down the middle. I think you need an edge in the market, right? Based on the market, based on technicals, fundamentals, the risk management, right? So is psychology and risk management enough to create an edge through any strategy? Like, you know, it starts to like, we can kind of get into the nuances here, right? But here's the general thought that I agree with you with. Any approach to the market, any style of trading, any strategy, right? I don't like to use the word strategy as much as I like to use the word approach. Any approach to the market can work with good psychology and risk management so long as it actually creates an edge. You can use whatever tools you want. I talk about this a lot. Most traders disagree with this, but here's my 2 cents. Use whatever you want. There's no one best. You want to trade ICT, you want to trade the sun's rays, the tides in the Hudson River, the moon cycles, instead of, you know, VWAP and visible range volume profile and raw price action market structure with discretionary levels, go for it, right? You want to trade Bollinger Bands and RSI, you want to trade straight order flow, you want to trade straight footprint charts, you know, whatever you want, right? There's, I don't know about the moon cycles in the Hudson River. I like to go a little bit far. But there's traders making money with so many different tools. They are not all using the same tools. If you clicked on anybody's live stream here on YouTube, if you went to any hedge fund or institutional trading desk, they all look different. There's going to be a lot of similarities, right? There's going to be a lot, you know, a lot of things that a lot of traders are using. But they're all going to be slightly different, right? The approaches are going to be slightly different. That tells us that in general, which we know for a fact, there's more than one way to create an edge in the market, or at least believe we're creating an edge. Let's say we know none of us have an edge. We're just idiots clicking buttons, right? But past that point, which is not enough, and most traders, I think, are able to identify something that's going to provide a positive expectancy over a decent sample size, they run into the hard part, which is actually being able to execute that in the very random market conditions that we get day to day. Being able to deal with the nature of probabilities that say we have a random distribution of wins and losses, right? Being able to deal with these insane headline markets that we're trading and capitalize and manage risk well when the market's agreeing with us and we're able to execute well, and to manage risk when the opposite is true, when the market's not agreeing with us and we're not executing well. That's the hard part. So, you know, I don't know a single trader with a awesome strategy and horrible risk management and, you know, and psychology. I think you would probably find a lot of traders, and maybe I'm one of them, with a baseline average strategy, like a lot of discretion and intuition that comes into it, and pretty damn good risk management and psychology, right, that they are able to apply, that make a boatload of money, right? You know, but like one can't be true without the other. Obviously, the goal is to have, you know, a great approach to the market that, you know, presents good opportunities and an asymmetric risk if possible, right? But overall, a win rate and risk to reward that generates a positive expectancy. That's the math that is needed over a large sample size to make money, right? That's the definition of it. But then you need the hard part, which is after 2 losses, what do you do? What do you do after 2 losses? Are you able to take that next trade? Are you able to take that next setup perfectly as if you hadn't taken 2 losses? What happens after 3 wins? Are you able to keep yourself controlled? Are you able to put that next trade on without fear, without greed, right? That's where things go awry. That's where, you know, everything goes sideways for 95% of traders, in my humble opinion, right? So hopefully that, you know, that's my opinion, right? That's just my opinion. I know I'm an idiot from YouTube, so grain of salt what I say. But that's my opinion. I don't think it's very hard to start to get a handle on technical analysis and fundamental analysis on the market. I don't think it's very hard to find a good way to manage risk, to understand risk management, to understand risk of ruin, which we can come back to talk to understand some of the basic math behind the size of the account that you're trading, the relationship between win rate and risk to reward, and, you know, what that win rate means over a large sample size. Like, that stuff is pretty basic. It's not terribly complex. Being able to really hold the correct belief system that you need as a trader, which is horribly conflicting and the opposite of everything that we have known and loved and keeps us safe as a human in the outside world, that's the hard part. That's the hard part. At least for me. At least it was for me. It's what I struggled with and continue to struggle with, right? It's what I struggled with for years, and it's the biggest friction point, you know, in my trading and others' tradings that I find, right? You know, that emotional control, that discipline, that real understanding of probabilities, right? It gets easier. I think you build a better understanding. You build those core beliefs up. You build that discipline up, right? You get better at reading technicals and fundamentals and analysis anyway. You get better at trading as a whole and create a better edge. But it's never ending, you know. It's as you scale, as you put more risk on, you're gonna face those demons again, you know. And that's why people are not able to scale to infinity. Right. You know, you technically are, within reason, but anyway, hopefully that's my rant. That's my rant. I'm gonna come back to the chat. What is happening? I'm getting an alert on something. Let's see. I'll come back to the chat, guys. Just taking a look at this market as we are chopping. NQ looking heavy, staying below VWAP. Maybe we get a nasty extension to the downside. Maybe ES looking like it's climbing back up. Wants to come and test these highs. Go grab liquidity above the 7200s. This is kind of interesting here, guys. My guys here. Yeah, I don't know about this. Guys. Monday, I'm gonna try to give you guys as much sauce as I possibly can. And here's the sauce for the first 40 minutes of this trading session. This is trash, right? The closest thing I had to a setup was this movement, which was very nice, right? Here was our 930 open. I'm looking for that mean reversion play. Beautiful pop directionally. I was looking for the high 500s, low 600s. We just didn't quite get there. We traded to the middle of my magical zone, which you would have if you are subscribed to my newsletter by hopping in Discord, which is pinned to the top of the chat. And I'll throw in the Discord, I'll throw in the community again. I send out an email now with all of my magical levels, which I'm saying sarcastically. They're just random horizontal lines on a chart. But we didn't quite get there. We got a nice rejection. You know, if somehow I was bold enough to top tick that and quick enough to bottom ticket. You know, maybe I captured a beautiful trade. Back to VWAP, this would have been pretty nice. Just not enough. And on another day, I don't think I'm taking this. I don't think I'm taking it as we approach prior day high. I'd like it above prior day high, especially when we have the high before that and the high before that up there, right? Now, no news Monday. We chopped back and forth. We can't pick a direction. We chopped back and forth without extending. We are contracting here, right? We are starting to consolidate even tighter. Put that Dorito pattern in, wedge pattern. Shout out Dobie from Top Step from back in the day. So, sitting patient. Sitting patient. Trying to get... Yeah, again, like... I think this is a day where a lot of guys are going to get chopped up. We start to break and run, maybe to the downside. I got a feeling on NQ, a lot of people are looking short. We start to break and run to the downside, like maybe we get some people that catch something nice. We start to buy up, get bought right back up through VWAP. I'm sure we got some people that are long with stops down below this level. Maybe, right? Maybe we just, you know, bulls just continue to get paid on this. But this is kind of like indecisive, at least to me. You know, if you're longs only in this market, just buy in for the extension, I don't think is a terrible play, right? You know, you got an invalidation point down here. You go, okay, we got bought back up twice. You know, no take profit, stop loss down here. If I get stopped out, I'm wrong, I'm coming lower. So you just keep buying the market up, right? And that obviously would have worked really nicely pretty much all the way through the last 2 weeks on NQ. So maybe, I got to assume we're going to get some people in here that pulled that already, which they did, and are looking short on this, but yeah, it's making the case. If we come back down towards this low, like, I don't know where we go in NQ. If not back here. We shall see. Yeah, starting to turn back at VWAP. YM not really doing anything. Popped up, tested VWAP multiple times now, and coming through. Chat! What do we think, guys? No clear direction again. It's also a downward trend of resistance. Asia range liquidity has been swept on NQ. Cool. Connect those most recent highs on the 15-minute. Pretty significant resistance trend. Yeah, we're talking about a trend line. To the downside on YM. I do see that. Got to be careful. 210 from passing a TPT eval. Nice, Pam, with the take profit trader eval. Hell yeah. Moon strategy is a cycle I can get behind. Yeah, Pam, take it slow. Anybody, you know, unless you're being super aggressive, which I don't think many people should be, you know, unless you have the capital and the experience to do so. Take it slow. Just take it slow. Wait for the next trade, you know, to get set up, and then go from there. Take profit trader. You got to trade for 5 days anyway before you can pass it. So there's really not a big rush. That's the hard part. I used to lock out after one trade, win or loss, and it costed me a lot of money. Maybe not so bad doing that for a while, but yeah, you don't want to go too tight. Edge flow on YM indicates 11 out of 10 times when we break prior day high, we're going to close the day green. Correct, absolutely. Lot of interesting insights from Edgeful and other data providers. I've worked with them on and off in the past. I'm not technically partnered and affiliated with them right now. I hold a lot of the statistics in my mind. I could probably rattle off 10 of them with pretty close to the actual number that it would be if I looked it up right now. But yes, that is an interesting stat if we go and crack prior day high. Pretty crazy stat. Edgeful is useful tool. Yeah, Edgeful is useful. Zach, you gotta put us onto that moon cycle. How do I get the emails in Discord? How do I get the emails? I'm in Discord, but I didn't receive the level email. Trevor, first off, check your spam folder because Google insists on telling me that I'm a bot for no reason. Even though I've restarted everything and I only send out very infrequent emails to people that are actively subscribed. But check your spam folder. If you joined after yesterday at, let's say, like 3 p.m., like 2 or 3 p.m. Sunday, you would not have gotten it. So if you joined before then and you verified in the Discord Get Verified section, which you need to do to see any of the chats, so I assume anybody that's in Discord has done that, then check your spam folder. It might be sitting in there. If not, shoot me a DM in Discord or something, or tag me in Discord, and I'll look at your email. We'll go from there. But I am giving you guys NQ charts, YM charts. I did say yesterday, I didn't provide a ton of context yesterday in that email. I did say, I can go back and read it. I did say, I think we have the opportunity to see a lot of what we saw the last 2 weeks as far as movement or a gap and then movement in the overnight session, which is exactly what happened. We had an exact repeat of the last 2 sessions. So, you know, if you used a little bit of your cognitive thinking, that might have helped you yesterday as we gapped down and then came back up to fill the gap. I do think that like one of these weeks coming up, we're going to gap up or gap down, and we're not going to fill that gap. You know, the market just will just not be that consistent for that long. And eventually, right about the time that everyone goes, okay, gap down, full port longs, no stop loss, we're going to go fill the gap. That's about the time the market goes, you know what? We're just going to continue lower. We're going to fake you out. We're going to start to move, and then we're just going to rip lower. But so far, that just by the open would have played out like beautifully, right? Like, let's look at NQ. Here's week 1. Here's week 2. We can actually look at it closer. Here's week 2, Sunday open. Here's week 3. So what I'm describing here that played out over and over again. Oh my gosh, did it play out over here too? No, this was our Sunday. This was when I caught the banger. But where's our Friday into Sunday? Okay, so when did it start? This was a nasty one, but it wasn't a Sunday open. Right here. Here was our big gap down, right? Big gap down, and then what do? Get bought right back up almost immediately off of the open from session changeover to go fill the gap, right? And then we gapped down here last week. Beautiful gap, and then what do? We trended all the way up. Did we fill this gap? We didn't come back. Okay, let's say we didn't come back below the low. Technically, we didn't fill the gap. We got extremely close. And then this week, not as dramatic. Definitely not as dramatic. But we gapped down from the open, and then what do? Popped right back up in that overnight session. So, interesting to watch. Gaps like to get filled for technicals. Not always, though. Especially if we leave one on the chart. We don't fill it. That's could be a heavy indication. Yeah, this is choppy as all hell, guys. I'm cycling around, looking at ES, looking at YM. Starting to come lower on YM. Choppy. Just still choppy. Just still not a lot for me. I'm hanging tight. I don't want to get a no trade session. I have accounts to trade. Multiple. You know, like I talked about a lot over this past year, what's helped me is to just do what pays me best, right? And with prop accounts, live accounts, you know, really anything that I really wanted to create an edge on outside of just high frequency scalping, maybe for minimum trading days or a specific amount of profit, kind of catering to prop firm rules, waiting patiently for my trades on YM and then putting them on with heavy risk, wide stops, wide take profits pays me the best. So I'm going to continue to do that. And, you know, if there's no trade to be had, you know, into the afternoon as the market kind of just gets choppy and cools down, I'll maybe get a couple of flip days in on whatever accounts that I'm trading. That's kind of been my routine. And just take it light in funded accounts and and live accounts. It's kind of the play. Yeah, the moon strategy. Both London, Asia. Yeah, Trevor, for anybody else who's on here. Sorry. Here you go, my brother in Christ. This is my daily chart on YM. Now, I've just left a lot of levels on here. I don't think you need all of these, at least right now, right? But here's my daily chart. These are my discretionary levels. If you want to just go over my chart real quick. I have visible range volume profile, session volume profile, VWAP, and volume. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4 volume tools. Technically, VWAP, I would say, is the closest thing to an indicator. I don't really utilize it the way that most people use an indicator, or any of the tools the way most people use an indicator. I'm using them for volume, right? You know, readouts of volume. I mark my discretionary levels off of price action and market structure. Equal parts price action market structure and volume. Volume. Specifically zoomed out visible range volume profile. But at its core, which is really important to note, they are discretionary, meaning exactly how and why and where I put a zone, the top and the bottom of that zone, it's coming from the inside of my dumb monkey mind, right? And hopefully that dumb monkey mind has a pretty good read of price action, market structure, and volume, because I've been watching it for thousands and thousands and thousands of hours on these ridiculous candlestick charts that we all stare at for years. I provide these in an email to you guys now every week because I get asked so much about them, and I wanted to create some source of value in the emails so I could try to create a good email list and have a backup to all of the social media platforms that can kind of go sideways at any point. So hopefully this helps you guys. But if you want to look, these are my levels. You don't need the email today because you can have the levels here. Right? Hopefully that helps. I like to draw my zones looking at price action, market structure, tops and bottoms, you know, daily closes, daily highs, daily lows, and visible range volume profile. You know, a lot of visible range volume profile. The 15-minute, I don't like redraw 1,000 zones on the 15-minute. I have session volume profile. I'm taking a look at what the heck we did over the last week. You can see, you know, I was zoomed out like this for a while this morning. I'm looking at this zone. I'm looking at this range that we've been in. And again, tops and bottoms for market structure and price action. Daily volume profiles, right? You know, full session volume profiles. Where's the volume point of control? Where's highs and lows? Maybe a little bit of NYSE session, but I don't like to overlay my chart too much more than it already is. Yeah, what are we doing? What is this? Market. NQ gonna try to go for it. I mean, CVD looking pretty weak on Bookmap as well. Maybe just choppy. Yeah, maybe just choppy. No news Monday. You know, not. We definitely don't have to do anything today. Kind of feels like we're doing what we've been doing, just waiting for the next headline. I don't even think the market cares about fundamentals as far as rates. It obviously cares about rates, but and market participants obviously care about rates, but just the reaction of a Truth Social post relative to the reaction of what Jay Powell has to say is so funny to watch. Yes, negative 6,000 jumped a little bit as we came up and filled some orders. Kind of interesting, kind of heavy on ES. Didn't go and take the 7200s where we've had a nice stack, found some resistance up there. Yeah, low expectations for today, guys. I'm not going to do anything crazy. Definitely not going to do anything crazy. I'm going to wait patiently with you. I'm not going anywhere. It's 10:27. I got plenty of time to hang out here. Could start to move at any moment, so I'm not going anywhere. We might get something. Usually right about the time that I say that, the market goes, okay, you're taking your foot off the gas. Now we're going to move. Not going anywhere just yet, but kind of just talking about what I see here. Choppy. We got a nice pop and a revert back down. Just not enough for me. You know, not enough steam. Indicative of a kind of a potentially choppy day. We're really not going to do anything. Just VWAP chop. Going to try not to do anything stupid right from the middle of this range here. I think longs. You know, longs in play if you were looking for a continuation off of VWAP. Shorts for NQ. Kind of the exact opposite on NQ and YM. But gonna sit patient and have good conversations with you guys. Starting to like the idea of NQ longs. Ooh. Z. Enzo Trader, what's up? What's up, guys? What is up? While we are hanging out. I'm going to throw this in the chat because I've been taking... Got some cool updates from Lucid. Got some pretty cool updates from Lucid. I'm going to throw this in chat right now before I start to talk about it. And I don't just talk about it, I be about it. Where is my link for Lucid? What happened? Hang on, guys. I thought, you know, I always think I have everything set. I take so much time. I'm such a good little diligent streamer. There we go. Now, Kick, you can have a link also. Nice. So, been trading with Lucid. Awesome, awesome results from them so far. One of the new things that they rolled out and we're talking about over the weekend, which is pretty cool, is their Lucid Max. If you had been banned in the past, if you had a cooldown after blowing a live account, they have a really interesting approach to now allowing you to come back essentially for a higher price eval. But you got some long-term options with Lucid. I've been trading the flex accounts with them. It's the one that I'm in right now, a funded 50K Lucid flex account. Really solid, very inexpensive. Code RDF gets you 40% off your first 5 with them. They did the Vault Reload, which is pretty cool, and then 30% off of that. They reset at 95. Straightforward, end of day trailing drawdown in both the eval and the funded. 2,000 max loss limit, 3,000 on the profit target. No DLL, 50% consistency in the eval, and then once you're into the funded account, you got 5 minimum trading days. No consistency rule, none of that. 5 minimum $150 trading days, and then you can request a payout up to 2K, 50% of 4,000. Really, really solid. If you like a no consistency style eval account, very straightforward. Their back end is very, very fast. Their payout's extremely fast. Shout out Lucid. Shout out Lucid. Only been partnered and affiliated with them for a little bit after I started trading with them this year, but I am taking a lot of payouts from these 50K flex accounts. You know, all reasonable, right? All normal. Nothing crazy. No, you know, no 100,000, 10,000, 5,000. None of that stuff, right? Because they've got payout caps. And I'm taking payouts whenever I can get them, right? You know, I'm not going to miss a chance for a $1,000 payout or even less. But if you want to check it out, link is in the chat. Code RDF gets you the best deal. Shout out Lucid. But yeah, one thing I like about them as well, and some of the other firms I think have started to take this approach, is, and I've met AJ in person now, which is pretty cool. They're just open and honest about what's going on, right? And Top 1 is very, very similar to this as well. In fact, that's why I liked Top 1 so much right off the rip. They're going to talk about like what's going on, matter of factly. They're not going to say, we're changing prices because it's good for the trader. we're going to increase prices and then decrease the payout cap because that's actually going to be better for the trader. And then we're going to add a DLL because that's better for the trader, you know, and then we're going to only discount like I think traders are done with that for prop firms. They understand the game that's being played to a degree. And I like companies that are going to talk objectively about it, right? Hey, like, a lot of people aren't ready for live accounts. Almost nobody makes money in live accounts when they get there. So we're going to try to create something that makes sense rather than evals and XFAs are the stepping stone only to live accounts. And, you know, we're going to teach you good trading habits in the evals and the funded accounts, even though in order to get to a payout, you need to do insane R multiples that nobody, you know, can do on a consistent basis. And we're just not going to talk about that. So I like prop firms that are being open and honest. And, you know, Lucid is one of those. All of the ones that I'm partnered with are one of those, right? Top one, you know, they're going to talk about it. Talk about that stuff, right? They're going to say, hey, there's no easy way to say this. Our prices are too low. You guys are too good at trading. You're milking us. In order to stay sustainable, we got to raise the prices. We got to tighten up a rule. Okay. I think traders accept that, right? More so than, you know what, guys, we're going to make this better for the trader. And this is actually going to help you. Like, come on, bro. Don't do that to us. You know, maybe the new guys will think that, but anyway. So, you know, part of what I'm gonna write up in, you know, I think when I have time, maybe a YouTube video is going to be talking about that. Why I think prop firms that are doing really well are being open and honest with their traders. The conundrum that prop firm traders, prop firm owners, the structure, all of it that everybody's facing, you know, and I don't have a solution as far as where to go, but I think it's important to talk about. It seemed like the biggest topic of conversation was what was the upper limits for sim farming? What was the upper limits for banning traders, right? And all that type of deal. And now I think it's just the general picture of like, you know, what is prop trading? Right? What is retail prop trading as far as we know it? You know, what is the rule set? And then what is marketed to us by way of what's possible with these accounts? And then what's expected on the back end from the prop firms, like talking about what's good, consistent, responsible trading. You know, and I think there's a lot of contradictions in there that some of the firms are starting to address, some of them are not starting to address. You know, some of them are just continuing on the way that they've done things in the past, and I think traders are smarter than that. Ooh. Volatility coming in, chat. Nasty volatility coming in. $10.36. Let's see what the headline is from New Squawk. Let's see. Let's talk about this. We got a choppy ass market. I don't know that was anything. Don't know that was anything. Taking a look at News Squawk. I don't have it being piped into my headphones right now. News Squawk is my favorite source for real-time news alerts. Absolute awesome company. Really enjoyed working with them. Was waiting to see if something would pop up on text, but looks like all quiet on the Western Front, so it could just be the normal grab some liquidity. Somebody wants to get involved with the market. I'll keep an eye on that. Let's talk about it. Chat. W in shorts. NQ 700-ish. Man, the truth is always better. Yeah. Listen. We all have, everybody's running a business, right? To a degree. The traders are running businesses. You're all running businesses as traders, as prop firm traders. The companies are like, everybody's got to, decide how they want to approach stuff. But if you watch me trade and you hear the way that I talk about myself and my trading, right? You probably know, what I do, what I'm a fan of. Just kind of like shooting straight from the hip, right? I don't like this back end, gotta try to just decode what the hell is the reality from this person, which is why I joke around with I'm the best, I got it all figured out, or this is the secret, or this. Nah, man. Those guys are full of shit. You can see right, excuse my language, you can see right through it. Just watch so much drama unfold on X. It's hysterical. It's absolutely hysterical. These guys are caught in so many lies. It's insane. And the sad part is, like, a lot of traders that do that, they're probably actually good traders. They're making a lot of money. They're probably better traders than me. But because you have such an ego, or because you want to market so hard, you take the approach of just twisting and distorting and just making stuff up and lying to your audience, that you blow it. And then same with the prop firms. Like, I get it, but through marketing, you want to eat your cake and have your cake and eat it too, as the saying goes. And, eventually the traders go, dude, what is this? Like, what are you talking about? This is not what is happening. This is not what it is. Like, don't play me for a fool, man. And I'd be happy if you just told me how it is. Hey, guys, we had a great program. We're too aggressive right now. We got to tighten up. It's not sustainable. We're not going to run ourselves into the ground and then start denying payouts and, having liquidity issues. We cannot, sustain this. Okay. Nobody's gonna be happy about a negative rule change either way, but don't tell me it's for the trader. Crazy. So I'm gonna not support more of that type of conversation in the future. I'm not saying you gotta be overtly negative, but just be honest about stuff. I think people are smarter than consumers, traders, smarter than most people give them credit for. I watched this pop. I tried to lock in here, guys. What back to VWAP? Like nothing? It's nothing. All right, whatever. We'll yap. W Shorts. Feed chat or Claude, your thoughts, and let it create a write-up for you. Yeah! Claude. Been working on Claude, if you guys followed me on IG. I was working on Claude this weekend. I'm not the AI guy. Right here, like here's me being honest. I think I'm an idiot when it comes to AI. I do not use it at the level that anybody else does. I had some experience with ChatGPT. I wasn't super duper stoked about it. I was using Claude over the weekend for a bunch of back-end analytical stuff on everything that I do across so many different fronts. It's extremely helpful. Extremely helpful. So I'm really excited about the prospect of using that. Scheduling, calendar blocking, right? Trading, very helpful. But yeah, I might just talk to Claude for an hour and then have it write something up and then write something up from that. I will say if I do my own write-ups, if I do my own write-ups and I write articles and stuff like that, or a long post, I do like to write it myself because there's so much AI just like slop, right? And I do like to say, hey, this is like me writing it, or this is using AI as far as the writing piece goes. But yeah, Claude is sick. Again, what do I know? I don't know about AI, but ChatGPT used to not be able to do basic trading math. It couldn't make me a nice spreadsheet. It couldn't make me definitely couldn't make me a PowerPoint. It was horrible. Claude, on it, man, on it. So I'm really excited to play around. I just did the baseline for trading. I'm really excited to play around with feeding it charts, trying to get an idea of what it can and can't do because there's limitations. But yeah, I'd be talking to ChatGPT about risk to reward and win rate, and it would just have something completely backwards. And I'd be like, oh, wait a minute. Is this correct? Can you double check? Because I think this is wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. You're completely right. This is wrong. And I'm like, what are you're not helpful, bro. Anyway, a lot of orders below price. And nothing above that. Yeah, totally agree. Claude is a G. Got $125 quick on the short. Nice. $95 still on this challenge. Nice. This is killing me. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Claude has captured my voice in write-ups. ChatGPT 5.5 has just blown Claude away. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, see, like, that's the thing. I don't know. I'm not up on it. So I think it's like, you know, it's going to continue to advance, right, at different rates between different companies. And I think they're probably all, well, actually, I've read, they're all good for different things. They each have, you know, specific things they're better for. Coding, writing, right, analysis, you know, providing insights on XYZ or whatever. But for what at least for my use and how I interact with it, trying Claude for the first time, I immediately bought Pro and then immediately hit usage limits and then had to figure out how to not do that. But yeah, AI is cool. You just have to know how to use it. And I think, you know, that's just on me. Man, I'm trying to get a feel for this, man. I'm really trying to get a feel for this. Somebody says, what's the plan for today? Long or short? Yeah, like sitting here patiently is the plan for today because we're not doing jack shit. You know, we finally looked like we were going to start to do something there. We popped to the upside and then we like... Maybe? Are we going to find buyers here? We got a super negative CVD, ES and NQ kind of moving in correlation a little bit, but not really. ES above VWAP. NQ's been holding below. YM similar, holding above now after a pop off the open, a pull back down to VWAP. You know, for the last... What is this? Like, you know, how long is this? Last 30 minutes, we've just sat at VWAP. We've traded in a, you know, in a 100 tick, 99 tick range on YM. Like, we're not doing anything here. So my plan for right now is to try not to do anything stupid. Sit here patiently. Gun to my head, if I had to take a trade on YM, it would be long. I don't have to take a trade, and that would be a terrible trade in my humble opinion. I hate trading from the middle of YM's just choppy range like this. It's actually the worst time to get involved. Directionally, I'd prefer a long today over a short, just based on higher time frame structure. Would have taken a short off of a, you know, a break of this a little bit higher. You can go back to the beginning of the stream where I talked about that. Started to map out the initial trade, but we just didn't get that hit. Got Twitter reporting some stuff, but not much by way of big headlines. Trump is requesting negotiations because the U.S. has not achieved any of its objectives. And we are looking into that request from Iran's foreign minister. Got a couple of Twitter accounts reporting that. But yeah, choppy overall, guys. Like not do anything if the market's not going to do anything. That's my plan. Try not to do anything stupid. If the market starts to move like it just did, lock in. You know, wait for the next opportunity. I'm still in favor of a mean reversion style play here, but you know, we are really just pulling the Dorito pattern, man. We just have not stopped. Yep. So some headlines coming in from the Iran front. That's what it was. Iran's foreign minister confirms that the U.S. has requested negotiations. This is due to Iran not meeting any of its objectives. Anyway, sit patient. Thank you, Longs. Listen to the Limitless podcast. ChatGPT 5.5 blew Claude away, inefficiency and use of GPUs. Cool. I'll have to listen to it. That's disappointing because I just got off of GPT and onto Claude, and I spent a bunch of time. But yeah, I was kicked from Discord, and I want to join again. Normal link not working for me. Help. Why were you kicked from Discord? Gaming, bro. Almost nobody gets kicked from my Discord. What's the plan for today? Long or short? So choppy, this NY market. What's your Discord name? Gaming Bro 2470. You only get kicked from Discord from being a bot or going on an insane, hate-filled, curse-filled, racist rant. I'm pretty lenient. My Discord's non-discriminatory, discriminatory, wide open. Yeah, man, this is nothing. This is nothing. It's gonna be a test of patience on Monday. Maybe something into the afternoon. Maybe. I mean, we're only an hour in here. Not going anywhere just yet, guys. But this is no bueno on YM. Really no bueno on YM. Gonna sit patient on this, guys. Chilling. Be right back. Not going anywhere. Be hanging with you guys till... Yeah, we'll see what the market's got for us. See if we start to move. BRB. Chatty McChat. I'm sitting patient on this one, man. Sitting patient. Let me know. Questions, concerns, thoughts. Let me know what you guys got going on. Let me know what you're thinking. Yeah, the dude who said he was kicked, just send me your Discord username. Listen, we talked about that. Enki Long, so choppy. This NY market, yeah, choppy. Question: why don't you make a playlist with lessons about how to trade futures? I have like a boatload of YouTube videos on so many different things, and I trade live every day, and then I share my trading through so many different social media platforms. I don't really feel the need or that it would provide a lot of value to create a playlist of how to trade futures. In the future, maybe I'll make some more videos that are like more beginner focused, or just a playlist to say, like, if you've never watched me trade before, if you're new here, you know, here's some of the baseline of my stuff. But I trade live for hours every day and answer questions and talk and, you know, kind of display my trading. And I think that's probably more valuable than not trading live and just making a course, right? Or like a playlist on a bunch of different things. It's so nuanced and discretionary that, you know, I think the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of live trading, you know, serves that purpose, right? You know, of how to trade futures, or how I trade futures. So that's my thoughts there. But I found that, like, there's a bunch of different ways to go about it, and I think that's really cool to do. And a lot of people do that, right? They like, you know, they're not posting all day, they're not live trading, but they take, you know, tons and tons of time, and they put together, you know, full, you know, 20 video courses or just playlists on, you know, everything that goes into their trading. And that's cool to do also, just different. I just find that, like, whatever I'm not doing, people ask for. So, you know, if I wasn't trading live and I was doing that, everybody would ask me why I don't trade live. But I like live trading. And a ton of long-form YouTube videos. And I have a game plan moving forward to be making more long-form YouTube videos. So stay tuned. Subscribe to YouTube. I haven't put out a ton over the past couple of months, but I plan on putting out tutorial videos on all of the tools that I use. Continuing to pump out tutorial videos, right? On everything. Prop firms that I use, Bookmap, TradeSyncer, which I get asked about all of the time, copy trading, and I'm going to be coming back to using much more actively myself. All of the tools that I use on TradingView, between trading itself, you know, just a bunch of how-tos. And then trading updates, right? What went well in my trading, what went poorly in my trading, talking about psychology, talking about the stuff that I think matters. Put one of those out on Friday. Just kind of like off the cuff, what works for me, right? What's working, what's not working. I made or lost money. Here's why. Here's what I did really well. Here's what I did really poorly. Here's why. All right. I think that's where a lot of value could be found. Rather than like, here's how here's the trade that I tried to find every day. You can just watch, me trade live for that. Making a case for the move to the downside on YM. Do I want the longs now? So that's my answer there. Yo, macro in 2 minutes. I don't know what macro is, man. Macro what? Time? Macroeconomics? Maybe. Yeah, man, this is just not it. Not it. Getting to the, a couple of you guys asked me, what's the plan now? What's the plan now? I'm sitting patient, right? I'm getting to the point where I'm going to say, I'm going to say the hard plan, which is no plan. I'm going to get to the point where I say, it's a wrap. I don't want this off of any level. We're just completely indecisive. Once we start to go, right? So there's a case to be made here on YM. Let's talk about YM, right? Actually, let's just go back to YM and talk about it. I like my areas of interest, right, for mean reversion trades throughout the day. I really do, right? Because even here, you get a random crazy movement into the afternoon and it still rejects really, really nicely, right? We get a, a breakdown here, into the open, prior day low, rejects really nicely. The more that we pull a movement like this and chop for so long and then start to pick a direction and form market structure, I'm less inclined to take the trade, right? I'm less inclined to take a mean reversion because I'm less inclined to believe that that's going to happen. I think maybe we chopped for forever, took everybody out, chopped everybody out, and now we're finally picking a direction for the day and we're actually going to move. So I'm debating here if I still want longs down here. I have to see what it looks like as we come lower. If we come lower, which it looks like we want to do here. Or if at a certain point you go, you know what? It ain't for me today. Yeah, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. Big bullish trend, doji, bearish candle forming to the downside. We want to pull some today? Sit patient. That's what I'm going to do for now. Talk to you guys. Questions, concerns, comments. Let me know what you guys are looking at on the charts. I'm always interested to hear what you guys are looking at on the Charty McChart charts. Moves often happen in the last 10 minutes and the first 10 minutes of the hour. Algos hunt for liquidity, and it sometimes forces a move. Okay. That's an interesting way to approach time in the markets. In the first 2 minutes and the last 2 minutes of the hourly candle forming, like we would be coming up to one right now, which would be 11 o'clock. Yeah, hourly open and close usually have some more momentum, more movement. Uh, 11 a.m. is a pretty decent one for sure. Chop is winding up for something. I wonder if market's finally Trump exhausted. Yeah, it feels it does feel like I've talked about, it does feel like the market chops until the next headline. You know, it feels like it disrespects every normalcy of the, you know, auction that should be going on, and and it just chops until the next move, right? I do think those movements sometimes can be insane, but for the most part, when it does move, it respects price action, market structure, volume. It moves to and from, you know, those areas of interest pretty fast. Hence how I was able to catch a nice win on Friday with a really beautiful take profit, if I do say so myself. But it's tough in between. It's tough in between to want to get involved when it's just doing what it's doing right now, like nothing. So I'm waiting patiently. In the back of my mind, my questions are, if we get a comment and we wick lower, if we get nasty volatility, like, do I want to buy down here? Do I want to do anything down here? You know, what is my game plan? And right now the answer is yes, like buying out of the middle of this area with a stop loss way outside, because I do think there's an opportunity to wick lower and take me out, but higher opportunity if we come all the way outside of this range that we could be coming way down here. So buys, even on an aggressive wick down, still in play. If we find buyers from here and just move higher, I don't think I'm going to short it. That would just be too much structure, right? It'd be VWAP here, and then what we're seeing from price action, pop to the upside, chop down here, buyers hold it, and then we start to do this. You know, now what am I doing here? I'm just fading a strong trend on the day where we're flipping a bearish candle bullish, you know, at resistance. I don't like that at an area of interest. So, long story short, long's off this zone if we could get some effing movement here. Otherwise, I'm just gonna chill. That's my play. So many failed auctions, long and short. Yeah, this is where are we at with time? Now that we were talking about time. Yeah, we didn't break an initial balance high or low yet, right? If we're looking at that. Here is our 9:30 a.m. high and to 10:30 a.m. We're past 10:30 a.m. We have not broken out of that range, at least on YM. Just to take a quick look-see around. NQ, we have not broken the initial balance high or low. And ES, did we go and try a high or a low? No. No, this is just ugly. Yeah. I'm going to try not to do anything stupid here today, guys. It looks like YM wants to try this. I'll try the longs. I'll run a long play, but it's not amazing. Let's just put it lightly. No news Monday. Classic no news Monday. All right. What is this? 180 down here? Yeah. I mean, could really start to break and run down to the 170s all the way down here. Liquidity in some really obvious spots on ES. Why I'm breaking initial balance low, coming towards low of day. Just to get an idea of what this would look like with my wide, sorry, I'm going to try to stop cursing. Wide stop and take profit. Just to get a rough idea. Yeah, I'd love to be way outside of here. I think if we wick all the way outside of here, we're coming down here. But yeah, whoever pointed this out earlier, this is pretty nasty. Not that I'm the trend line guy, but we are failing to move higher, and we are hammering into a support zone. So this is a pretty dicey long here as well. But I think we could do this today, guys. That would give me a win. That's all I'm looking for. We're on the hourly here. I don't need that. All right. Drifting lower. Again, staying patient. We'll see if we get a trade on with you guys here. Choppy as all heck. See if we trade towards these 49150-ish, coming down through some liquidity here on ES. Again, I don't love this play, but it's really all I'm going to have. And I can decide whether or not I want to take that. Let's see. NQ loaded up. Pretty choppy AM session. Scalper's Paradise. I'm in a small long on MES from VWAP. Been pretty stagnant. Hoping just have a small pop to orb. Opening range high. Then I'm out. Got you. Yeah, I'm sitting patient on this. No trade so far from me, guys. This is just not great structure and price action. Very slow moving, choppy market. Trying not to do anything stupid as we come towards low of day. Reject right off of it. If we come right back to VWAP, I'm just done. I'll wrap it up. But right now, looking for a potential long off this higher time frame zone, right? I'm going to play the bounce until it fails and then take my L and move on. You know, we are outside of all of this, but I don't like it from in here. I'd need it to crack a little bit lower. A little bit lower. What did I say? 150s? I don't know that I need the 150s. 60-ish. High end of this, maybe. Not doing anything just yet, guys. Just mapping this out. And I'm not going to run it with 2 grand. I would run it with 1 mini. Just don't have the confidence in this type of play to run it with 2 minis. Which is the max amount that I would run for this account. That would be the full account. Watching this bad boy has become lower. Chat, let's see what we get. Pretty boring NYSE session so far. Not a whole lot of movement. Not a whole lot of movement. What are we going to do here, guys? What are we going to do? We just going to bounce back to VWAP from daily lows? Is that it? Is that what we're going to do here? Just tight chop? Not too much by way of the news front today. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if that means one's coming or it's going to be quiet. Got a feeling that means one's coming. 1107, slowly drifting lower. Yeah, I'm going to see if we get this crack down here, guys. I don't know that we have the juice to just rip faces off to the downside here. And I'm going to fade this move back up. Eyeballing the long up here, guys. Eyeballing the long up here. Get that take profit out of the way. Again, not insane, not beautiful. Something I'm taking with maybe one mini and under $1,000 worth of risk, which is pretty light for me on the funded accounts. Trading this one individually, at least for right now. Let's see. See what Marcus got for me. Chat. Mid, small, long, MES. Oh, we talked about that. Trade for learning. Oh, you can rewind. You can rewind the clip. Just go back and look for yourself, man. Do a quick scroll through, and you'll see the answer to your question. Waiting. Locked in. Eyeballing it. Just killed my music. There we go. Let's see if we want this long down here, chat. Let's see if we want this long down here. Set patient off the open. I'm interested. I am interested as we're coming into a higher time frame area of interest. Keeping an eye on order flow on the other US indices, which tend to give me a little bit better read of what the hell is going on. Liquidity on YM down to the 150s, the 100. Not a lot. Not a lot, but we got a little bit down there. What I don't love for a trade like this is these are just heavy negative on CVD. We get a nice crack lower. I'm gonna try this. That's my play. Waiting patiently, chat. As patiently as I possibly can. Good morning. Hit the like button, fams. Yeah, you guys hate hitting the like button. Like multiple hundreds of people that come and watch. Nobody hits the like button. It's okay. I'll still be here. I feel okay. Nobody likes the like button unless there's a giveaway on the line. I feel okay because what do we do here? Nice. Let's go. Let's go for the W. Let's go for the W. Let's get the long rolling. Let's get the long rolling. know what the heck that was. It's weird. Just had a monitor flash. Guys, I'm sitting patient on this, man. This is close but no cigar on both sides. I'm still interested in the longs if we come down through these lows. Pam's long. Hopefully she catches this 90 bucks to pass this TPT eval. I'm interested to hear if we get this. I'm sitting patient on this, man, but this is like just painfully slow price action structure to watch. It's so painfully slow. Looking for a long on a crack lower. That was my game plan here. Take it out of the middle of this zone or somewhere near it. Maybe. Maybe. God, man, testing me here today, guys. Marcus testing my reserves, testing my patience. Crack lower down below this candle. I'm gonna look long on it into this zone. That's my play. Not as beautiful as an off the open long on a test of this zone. We tested the highs, maybe pop stops. Maybe we're gonna drift lower today. Maybe we're gonna continue lower. We go right back up to VWAP. You know, that's gonna be lights out, and it's just gonna be a stupid choppy day. So let's see. Let's see. Chat, how we feeling today? How we doing, guys? Are you enjoying this choppy market? This slow-moving, drifty market? Or have you had just about enough like me? Chill. It's boring. Yeah. This is slow, guys. This is super slow and boring. Here's the sauce for today. When you get a day like this, when you get a no news Monday where the market doesn't do anything, right? Don't give in to the temptation, right? Here's what happens. It's happening to me right now, and I'm trying my best to stay patient. And I'm not gonna do it. But the little devil on your shoulder goes, "Come on, man. The market owes you. You've been here. You're watching this. You know, long it, short it. Come on, man. You got to make money. You need a trading day. You got to take a trade." And that thing starts chirping on your shoulder. And then what happens? You take a dumb trade, and you take a dumb loss, and then you take another dumb trade and dumb loss because you go, "I shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that? I can get back to break even. Let me just take one trade, and my profit target will be my break even level." And then you take another loss, and then you blow the account. And then you go, "The market didn't do anything for me today at all, and I would have been so much happier, and I would have so much more money if I just didn't click any buttons." Right? So that's the sauce for today, guys. You know how you make a lot of money sometimes in the market? In the long run, or for the week, or even for the day? Just don't click any buttons when nothing's happening for you, whatever that means. This might have been beautiful for you. You might have clicked a lot of buttons. You know, for someone else, maybe me, this is just not enough to work with. Try not to click any buttons in between. Try not to do anything too stupid in between. Wait patiently for your setups to come. Put them on without reservation or hesitation. In between them, patience, spelled P-A-Y. Patience pays, guys. It's testing me today. It's testing my patience. It also tests how long you could sit here staring at the chart before you get up and leave, and then the market moves without you. So I do want to see if we get a crack lower. I am still interested in a long from down here. I have to wait, and if it goes back to VWAP without me here, you know, no missed trade, just no opportunity for me, no setup. But I'm looking to buy into a nice, nasty crack to the downside. I'd like to get through that level of liquidity that we're looking at on the left-hand side there on Bookmap on ES. Not that I trade them in correlation. And into my zone, specifically, on YM. A little bit lower, a little bit more outside of this area of high volume, with the anticipation that we don't just continue lower all the way to the next level. We drift right back up. Let's see. Let's see what we can do here. Waiting for Trump. I came to the temptation. I'll be representative. Buyers keep coming in on the lows. Yeah, FOMC, big week earnings, gonna be crap, most likely. Yep. Yeah, I gotta look at some earnings calendar as well, Mike. See what we got coming up. Take a 6 points out of ES, and I think I'm done for a bit. Tough sledding. Yep. I will look for all things again around 2 or so. Yeah, I'm getting there, guys. I'm not there yet. I'm waiting to click a button. I haven't clicked any yet. Waiting patiently, but I'm getting there. I just want to see if we're gonna hit a level here aggressively, allow me into a long, and then just slap that bad boy on and let it run to the end of the day. Set some alerts, crossing VWAP, coming back into a potential take profit area is how I would run this. Small reday, my lucid funded. Nice. Day 4 locked out. Nice. Been a battle this month. Saved it from blowing slowly back in green. Nice. Love to hear it. Bought up again. What is this market, dude? Come on, do something, YM. Do that thing you do. What in the world, man? Coming back up now? I want to get this one on with you guys, so I'm going to chill for a minute here, but this is like watching paint dry, dude. Choppy. We're fixing to find out, chat, as they say in the South. Fixing to find out. Let's see. ES eating up some liquidity to the downside. YM looking like it wants to go test these lows. Same thing out of NQ. Do we get a free fall here? Here comes the crack. Nice. Is this all we're going to do? I'm going to wait for it. I don't want that. I'm going to wait for it. Don't want it from the tippy top of this zone. Middle ground. I want it from the middle ground, and I want to stop way outside of this low. This could be all we do, though. This could be all we do today on this slow-ass, choppy, no-news Monday. Not yet. Pushing lows. Let's see. Yeah, it's a buy from in here for me, guys. I don't know if I wanna pay to find out if this is gonna work or not. I'm really trying to build the desire to put on a trade. I'd like it from in here. I don't know that we get that. We're getting bought back off these lows over and over again. Kind of looks like this could be it. I'd get a stop like right outside, looking for what, a move back to VWAP. Yeah, guys, this isn't gonna be it for me. This isn't gonna be it for me. You know, maybe this one. Like maybe this one if we get it. Sorry, let me just throw this back up here. Actually, let me do this. Maybe something like that. Maybe something like that, right? And then at very least, I could catch a 1-to-1 back to VWAP. You know, maybe something like this. But at this point, it's just slow grinding for damn near ever. I'm not gonna sit any longer. Market wore me out a little bit. I'm gonna look for the 160s. You know, maybe I'll set an alert or something down here. If we start to come lower, this will wake me up. Do something like that. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be it. I want to run a no trade session. This is just not it for me. Rather than take dumb, unnecessary losses in here 47 times, I'm just gonna preserve capital and wait for something to actually happen. Appreciate you guys hopping on, as always, live all week, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. Hop in the 100% free trading Discord. Link is pinned to the chat. I will throw it in the chat again. If you're not in here, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. Let me throw this in here. Hang on. Where's Discord? Hop in the 100% free trading Discord if you're not already. Bam. Appreciate you guys for being here. Slow, choppy, no news Monday. Trying not to do anything crazy. Trying not to do anything stupid. I'll see you guys live here tomorrow. I'll see you in Discord. I'll keep you updated. I'll let you know how the rest of the day goes. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you always do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts. And the affiliate and partnership disclaimer, this is I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top 1 Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Can't be unbiased if I stand to make money, which I do. Important for me to note that, and for you to do your own research and make your own damn decisions. Capital Preservation Monday. That's what we got today, guys. Talk to y'all soon. See you here live tomorrow. Thanks.